This is, I know that I say this every year on July 1st, that this is the largest crowd we've ever seen, but I really mean it this morning. No doubt the fact that the Queen is going to be here at noon has attracted many people. I arrived just down the street to find a parking spot in the World Trade Center about an hour and a half ago, and people already at about 8:30 were already beginning to parade up towards Parliament Hill. And right now, I would say there is at least, it would appear to me, at least 80 to 90,000 people here right now. Very, very clearly we're going to have a crowd well in excess of 100,000 that has been predicted. It's a very, very historic day, folks, and a lot of people aren't perhaps quite as clear as they should be exactly what it is that we are marking today. Let me just clarify. It was on, I know it's Confederation Day, but what does that mean? It was this day, July 1st, 1867, that Queen Victoria decreed that the provinces of Canada, these are her exact words, that the provinces of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick shall form and be one dominion under the name of Canada. Now, the provinces of Canada, as she described it, were what we call today Ontario and Quebec. So in fact, while July 1st, 1867 is officially Confederation Day, it only involved 4 provinces. A lot of people don't know that. Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. Manitoba and the Northwest Territories entered Canada July 15, 1870. British Columbia became part of Canada thanks to the construction of the Trans-Canada, or the Transcontinental Railway, thanks to John A. Macdonald, on July 20th, 1871. It wasn't until July 1st, 1873 that Prince Edward Island became part of this country, followed by the Yukon, June 13, 1898, and on September 1st, 1905, a lot of people don't realize that some of our major provinces did not enter Confederation until 1905. Saskatchewan and Alberta decided to join Confederation. Thank goodness. Without Alberta today, we'd be more or less broke, I would think. Newfoundland entered the Canadian fold March 31st, 1949. Then on April 1st, a lot of people forget this, April 1st, 1999, Nunavut became the most recent addition to the Canadian family. So there we have it. The proclamation that we celebrate today is actually the declaration of the British North America Acts. Notice I said Acts, which spelled out in great detail the form of government which to a large extent we have today. Interestingly enough, and a lot of people don't know this, our first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, wanted us to be called the Kingdom of Canada. He fought very hard for the Kingdom of Canada, but the British Parliament, which still called the shots in those days, rejected that idea because they thought it would offend the United States. First federal election, newly formed Canada, was held in August and September of 1867. 24 MPs were elected in Ontario, 24 in Quebec, and 12 each for New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Now, every year, of course, on Canada Day, July 1st, I conduct my famous Canada quiz. And very frequently I'm surprised at the lack of knowledge that many people have of this country. Everybody's proud of this country, but in many ways I think sometimes we really don't know enough about it. So I'm conducting a quiz today, and I've made the questions much easier. But the prize, the award, is the same as it has always been, and that is a beautiful, full-size Canadian flag, courtesy our good friends at the flag shop there on Bank Street and 5th Avenue in the Glebe. I'm not talking about a little flag that you carry around in your hand. I'm talking about a full-size flag that you would fly atop your flagpole. As a matter of fact, it flies atop our flagpole at our cottage. So what we're going to do, and I am the sole judge here, if you can answer 1, 2, or possibly 3, depending upon how difficult the questions are. If you can answer 1, 2, or 3, then we've got this beautiful Canadian flag just for you. So, my first question this morning is this. Are you ready? First question for a beautiful Canada flag. Which Canadian province launched the first separatist movement? This was a major movement, by the way, that almost succeeded. So that's the number one question. Who's going to be first? 521-8255. 521-825. Anybody out there that knows can tell me. Now, think back to your high school history lessons, okay? That stuff you fell asleep on. You could win yourself a Canadian flag if you can remember some of it. Which Canadian province launched the first separatist movement? This was a major movement. Lasted 7 years, as a matter of fact. 521-8255. The lines are open now, so you'll have absolutely no problem getting through. No problem whatsoever. Now, second question. You should be able to get this one. Who was the father of Confederation? We're talking about Confederation today. Who was the father of Confederation who was assassinated? You should be able to get that one. And still on the theme of Confederation, who is the most recent father of Confederation? You got to get this one. I'll give you a little tip, okay? I interviewed the most recent father of Confederation. Now, I know I'm old, but I don't go back to 1800s, I can guarantee you that. So, who would it be then? Father of Confederation that I once interviewed. Lines are available, so the first three questions then. Which Canadian province launched the first separatist movement, serious movement? Who was the father of Confederation who was assassinated? And third, who is the most recent father of Confederation? So recent, as a matter of fact, that I once interviewed him. The number is 521-8255. Give us a call, folks. Just looking out over this now, the changing the guard ceremony just now apparently wrapping up. Huge crowd has gathered here. I must tell you, I know that many of you are listening and you're probably heading out. Be sure you bring a jacket with you. There is a bit of a breeze, although if you're down in the crowd, I don't think that you'll notice the breeze all that much. The sky is threatening somewhat, but as you know, the weather forecast says there's only a slight chance of rain, so let's just hope that it holds off. The wind is quite brisk. I'm looking directly now at the Peace Tower, the beautiful Peace Tower on this magnificent building right in front of me, and the flag is standing out very proudly, wind coming in from the northwest, or what appears to me to be the northwest anyway. All right, we've still got a couple of lines available. How good are you now? How good are you? The first three questions. Which Canadian province launched the first separatist movement? Who was the father of Confederation who was assassinated? Who is the most recent father of Confederation? If you can answer those three questions, we have an absolutely beautiful, full-size, this is a full-size Canadian flag, courtesy of the flag shop down there in Bank Street. Okay, let's go first to, let me see, Patricia, are you?
Hi.
Holy mackerel. Patricia, you sound excited this morning.
I am. I want a flag.
You want a flag? Okay, how good are you? How good are you? Do you know the answers?
So the father of Confederation who was assassinated is Thomas D'Arcy McGee.
You're right on, yes.
You interviewed Joey Smallwood.
Joey Smallwood. Remember him with the owl glasses?
Yeah.
He's the most recent father of Confederation because Newfoundland entered Confederation in 1949, right?
Right.
And most people still wish they hadn't in Newfoundland, but that's a different story, right? now, for the flag. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
For the flag.
Okay. The third question for a beautiful, full-size Canadian flag. Which province was the first one to try to separate from Canada?
I'm going to say Manitoba.
No, you're wrong. You came close. No, it wasn't Manitoba. If you think back to your high school, this probably bored the hell out of you, but actually, in light of what's happening in Quebec, this is actually quite interesting because there was a separatist movement long before.
Oh, is it Ontario?
No, it wasn't Ontario. No, it wasn't. Listen, we've done very well, though. Thank you very much, Patricia. Thank you very much. We'll be back direct on Canada Day on Parliament Hill.